Let me save you your time and the frustration with 10 tips you don't want to learn too late, because when you finally figure them out, you're gonna be like, damn, it was that simple? By the way, pad 16 loops the sample. Let me show you that real quick. So I just want to get that first part, and I like to use the plus and minus because it would just snap to the part. Like, let's say I want to snap closer to the start point, just press this and then boom. So that's a tip in itself. And then bring this a bit closer, and then I'll hit pad 16. Right here. So there you have it. Like, pad 16 loops the sample. And the cool part about this, now you can use that loop feature where you can use all these different ones. So this one is pretty much, it's going to just loop back around, but then you have one that just kind of loop back and forth like this. So like reverses back. Tip number 2, you definitely want to know this because it's going to help you out in your workflow, and that's creating folder shortcuts. So right up here, I have one as my beats, and you can see it labeled. And then the second one is my go-to drum kit. Third one is beats that I made for the new MPC and track lib chops. So I'm gonna pick out a new folder to show you guys. Let's do samples. So the only thing is, when you have a folder, make sure that you click into the folder, because if you just do it from the outside, it's not going to work. So you just hold down shift, and then you will hit the corresponding folder that you want to make a shortcut to. So I would just do it for number 1. I could just been on my folder 3 or in a different area, and then I could just press 1. And then you'll see samples pop up. That's going to make you stay organized, and it's going to help your workflow a lot, because there's probably a go-to drum kit that you like, or something like your sample folder that you could easily pull up. Now for the third tip, I have my Y cables. Now the Y cables is so I can sample from my phone into the MPC. Now I don't have like my dongle, so I don't know where that is at the moment, so just bear with me. I'll bring up another clip to show you what I mean. When you're sampling using your phone, you may come across the issue where you're trying to play the song but you still don't hear anything, and you can see, yeah, a little signal's coming in. You got it turned up from your phone, and you got it turned up back here as well. The issue is, if you look back on the MPC, if it's not online, that's why you're not getting input. So you got to switch from phono to line. And now I can press play. So I have this drum kit pulled up. Usually with drum kits, it's a good workflow to use them, because it's like it has all the drums that sound nice with each other. Because I know if you've been lacking on your sound selection when it comes to the drums, using drum breaks is key. Let's say you don't want to use this whole break. So let's say you want the drums to be separate. All you have to do is just go to trim. You already may notice this goes into chop mode. You can manually chop it, or you can use BPM chops and move it around. But the quickest way is just to use threshold. Threshold goes to all the transients. As you can see, if I zoom in, it's on that peak, and it's on the bigger peaks. Now you see there's a lot of space, and it's not catching all the other ones. All you have to do is just bring down the threshold. The lower you go, the more transients is going to pick up. So you already have your kick, hat, and the snare. And then if you like that, all you have to do is just hold down shift and hit convert, new drum track using slices, do it, go to main, and then you will have all your sounds. Now number 5, you probably already know this, but this could probably still trip you up if you're new. And that is pitching your sample, but still keeping your tempo the same. Let's just loop this. Let's just get that part. All right, so let's say we like that and we would discard everything else. So then we have the sample, and let's say we like that tempo, but we want to put it in a different key. Now the best way you want to go about this is to go to process and then do pitch shift. Now, the only thing that I don't like about this is that you're not going to be able to hear it. So if I was to go to 1 and press it, you're not going to be able to even play it. So what I would do is use tune as a reference point. So let's say 2 sounds cool. -2 sounds cool, like a little darker vibe, but you can hear that I slowed it down. So let's just do this. Process, and then pitch shift and go down -2. Now make sure you have this back at 0, just so you don't mess anything up, and put -2. And now it will sound like this. So this is definitely the best way if you just want to keep your tempo the same and change the key. Like, there's no other way beating this. Like, you hear how clear that sounds. Now, tip number 6 is going to be one that you really don't want to learn late, because this will save you from, you know, losing great melodies that you had in mind. So let's say I'm not recording at the moment and, you know, I just put in a melody. And I didn't record it, right? Let's say you probably did some Mozart shit and you went in and you like, damn, I don't have it no more. But not so quick, because if you go to grid view, yeah, you don't see nothing. But if you do shift and record, voila, magic. Retrospective record is what it's called. This is also in 2.0, but for those that don't know about this, man, it's definitely useful and it's cool, man, because you can just play it back. Turn off the metronome. And then you just line it up, or you fix it up the way you want to. And by the way, that was a quick shortcut that I just did too, which is shift and play start to turn on and off the metronome. Tip number 7, many of you probably already seen me do this a lot. And this is just for those that want to make their drums hit hard. And you probably already know all these different techniques that you can do, but never sleep on this one. And this is the beat, by the way. So you can't really hear the drums so much. So what we're going to do is go to our drum track, and then we could go to track edit, go to effects. Now, we're not going to be using these effects, but we're going to be using the second tab over by clicking. And we go to that soft clipper. All you do is just mess with the soft clippers. Let's just hear it back. Snare could be a bit harder, so let's turn up that soft clipper. Hi-hat could shine a bit more. I don't hear that kick. Let's bring that up. And then obviously, you know, you go back into your mix and level everything, but this is the fastest way. And those that are new, what you're doing is not turning up the sound necessarily. You're really bringing more harmonics into your sound. And that's the way you make your drums really hit hard. You don't need 20 videos of how to make your drums hit hard or how to make your bass stick out. All it needs is more harmonic across the frequency spectrum, and you'll be able to hear it. Now, while we're in this project, for tip number 8, is just a real quick one, because when you have a lot of tracks, like in this one, I got about like maybe 7 tracks on it. You don't want to have to be scrolling through all the time. Trust me, every second counts. Tip number 8, if you hold down main, you can see your tracks right away. Boom. I could go to 808 right away. I could hold it down, go to pad counter melody, and yeah. Honestly, that is one that I wish I learned sooner. Now, tip number 9 is real quick, and it's going to lead into tip number 10. I have this beat right here. All right, so we got a little vibe going on, and if you know what the sample is, leave a comment. Let me see if y'all know what sample that is. If you was born in 2000, forget about it. So many of you guys probably know a bit of your way around, and you go into the mixer and you're going to your effects from this screen. But never forget, from the main screen, you can always still access your effects from here. You probably already know that you got that quick menu to the levels and all that, but there's also the effects that you can go to right here. That's a lot faster, especially when you're at individual tracks, and I could switch my tracks without having to close this menu. And I could also use main again and do it like that. Have that window open. But now for tip number 10, why aren't you using Kill EQ? Kill EQ is a dope EQ, man, because you could do so much with it. For this one, you can use lows only, or you can use no mids, no kick drum. So let's just hear how no kick drum sounds. That's a huge difference. And in the beginning, I was always doing that. I still do that if I need to. I'm not gonna take the time to try to stem it out. And you can also do lows only. Like, let's say if I wanted to just use the bass in this sample, I would do it like this. I would go to modulation to get a stereo width to put this in mono, because you can hear that is in stereo. So we could just drop this down. Then I could just do a low pass filter. Now you can add more to it, put an MPC 60 vintage to get more of that grit and stuff like that. But anyways, those are the 10 tips that you don't want to learn too late.